A gentleman had a severe appendicitis attack. He was rushed to the hospital, and the doctors decided for a surgery. As the doctors were preparing for the surgery, the gentleman was speaking to the doctors and telling them, I do not know why God, when He was creating us, He put the appendix in our bodies. Then he continued, well, still I think there must be a purpose. Then the doctor replied, yes, of course. He had a purpose to see that my children go through the college. Why cannot everybody be good? Why is that there is evil? Why is that the evil things are happening in the world? We continue with the parable discourse of Matthew. Matthew's gospel has 7 parables. Symbolically, 7, we know, is a perfect number, symbolizing perfection. Already last week, we meditated on the parable of the sower. Today, we have 3 parables. The parable of the wheat and the weeds, the parable of the mustard seed, and the parable of the leaven. Both good and evil start in a small way. Good and evil both coexist side by side. Good and evil grow together quietly, in a subtle way, and hardly it could be perceived. Good and evil both grow together. The most beautiful things, the most beautiful feelings, sentiments in our lives start in our hearts. Peace, generosity, gentleness, selfless actions. Imagine whatever is good germinates in our hearts. The most cruel things, evil things, also germinate in our hearts. Cruelty, jealousy, all the violence, all the evil also germinate in our hearts. Am I wheat or am I weed? That is a question to be asked today during the Mass. Darnel is the word given for weeds. In fact, darnel is called false wheat. Apparently, it is wheat. We could appear to be wheat, but in reality, we could be weeds. It looks so simple, but so challenging. The Gospel says that it was the evil one who has planted the weeds. We are expected to have a life of vigilance. I'm sure you know one of the greatest themes of Shakespeare's plays is the symbolism of night, light and darkness. In most of the Shakespeare's dramas, evil things take place in the dark. In the famous drama Macbeth, all the planning, conspiracy to kill the king, all the evil conspiracy goes on in the darkness of the night. In Julius Caesar, when Brutus was planning to assassinate Caesar, he does it in the dark, at night. Even in the Gospels, we find this symbolism of darkness and light. Judas, having betrayed Jesus, the evangelist writes, he entered into darkness. Then John makes use of this symbol again. Nicodemus meets Jesus at night, symbolizing the evil that he was living. Then, having encountered Jesus, Nicodemus goes when it was early in the morning, when there is light, which means hope. We could be discouraged easily, having worked so hard to see the negative results of our actions. The landowner, the farmers, they have worked so hard with wheat and they find weeds. We are reminded, when we are living with weeds side by side with wheat, there could be possible reactions that could be had, either to give up that place, that situation, or to be discouraged. Rather, we are reminded it is an opportunity for the wheat to grow stronger and stronger and to overpower the weeds. And another aspect is that we could easily think, well, the weeds should be immediately treated. The landowner is very patient. He acts with a lot of wisdom. Well, the landowner symbolizes the divine patience with humanity. We are reminded that the kingdom of God is not only for the righteous, but it is also for the sinners. We have a merciful God. Yes, God is merciful. God accepts everybody. And everybody will be saved. Yes, we believe all these things. But we cannot negate the judgment. The Gospels also remind us of the judgment that will be there. So the landowner lets both the wheat and the weeds grow together. Wheat is something that is building. Wheat is something that is nourishing. Wheat is something that is positive. Instead, weeds are pulling down. Weeds are something negative. Weeds are something destroying. Am I wheat or weeds? We need to continue our small efforts. That should be the solution. The solution is also given in the Gospel. The solutions are given in another two parables, the parable of the mustard seed and the parable of the leaven. However insignificant, small they could appear, the little goodness that you have is strong enough to transform and to make a big difference in the world. Like the mustard seed, like the leaven, unnoticed, but silently, but surely and slowly, working to transform what is little. So, though your goodness could be little or small, it can transform. It has the potential to transform the world. And in fact, that is the invitation of the gospel. That though we have to live with weeds side by side, without being discouraged, we need to be like the mustard seed. We need to be like the leaven that will transform the society, and it will make a big change. Am I wheat? Am I weeds? Do you want to become like a mustard seed? Or do you want to become like a leaven to bring about the change?